bread and butter of Parsons Seafood in its high point was a group of wild clammers who would harvest naturally occurring clams. It was a derby fishery. You get what you get, you bring it in, you run it on our machine, and you paid for it that day. It's kind of evolved into more of a farm. Now we have a much smaller industry, only a handful of clammers, maybe one or two to actually pay their mortgage from what they harvest out of bay. Most of them are just hobby farmers. We're outbound Tuckerton Creek on a very pretty day, and we're going to stop off at the research lease out here in southern Barnegat Bay, held by the Richard Stockton University.
We've partnered with Dale Parsons and his mariculture business. Dale is, I think, a fifth-generation waterman. His family's been on the bay that we're studying way longer than any of us have been around, so over 100 years.
We're going to take a look at some of the oysters that I had set on conch shell earlier this summer. We're just going to double check their progress, how they've grown, survivability. Right back here, a little further, it'll be right over top of the 150 bushels of channel whelk shell with oysters attached to them. All right, so we'll take a couple grabs here. There we go. The larvae were set on the shell the weekend of 4th of July. So they grew substantially well. Once they made it out here on the bottom, that produced the habitat for the rest of the larvae swimming in the bay. So every gallon of bay water out here during post-spawning season has some clam and oyster larvae in it already. What we did is we restored the habitat for the existing animals, along with the disease-resistant animals that we received from Rutgers. 100 years ago, this bay was filled with baymen. Everyone in this bayman relied on a biological system to run the way it's supposed to run, to run the way Mother Nature designed it for Barnegat Bay. When we took away some of the fresh water, we affected that system. You have to have a certain volume of freshwater input from the pinelands to sustain the natural cycle. But our freshwater systems have just as much of an influence in the bay as our ocean water systems. Without both systems in check, the bay in the middle of these two, it won't function properly. All of our upland influences, whenever we put something in the groundwater, whenever we affect a freshwater stream, it all comes down to the bay. Culturally, in terms of the majority of the people that live here, they don't embrace the bay, they exploit it. They don't see this place as their home, they see it as a vacation. When it's a vacation, who cares? You're here for a couple months. If we spill a gallon of gas or we leave the water running, it's okay, I'm on vacation. The state sees this place as a vacation destination. When our business interests have an influence on the biology of the bay, you've affected all the people whose livelihood depend on this water. And that's why there's no one here anymore. That's why we have to cultivate our own oysters. I see it as part of my responsibility and part of my opportunity to do some restoration work. And that's why I got into this proposal with Stockton, so we can put something back in the bay and kind of make good on where we've taken advantage of for years.